Okay, so in this section, we're just putting it all together. So we've got to figure out what happens, like what needs to happen in each problem. So example 1, the only thing I can see is that negative exponent. So it goes down to the bottom, and its exponent becomes positive. Okay, it was just -1, so I don't really need to do anything. All right, so here, multiplying by the same base, I've got x and x to the third, so that's x to the fourth. Okay, if I subtract my exponents, that's x to the 0, well, that's 1. We've got product rule, so we want to go ahead and add our exponents. -7 plus -1 is -8. And down at the bottom, we have the same thing happening. You have x to the -3 and x, which is x to the 1. Add your exponents. -3 plus 1 is -2. Now I've got negative exponents, so we switch places. So y to the -8 goes to the bottom. X to -2 goes to the top. So x squared over y to the 8th. All right, use the power to power rule first, and then deal with negative exponents. -4 to the 1, but also to the third. 1 times 3 is 3. You've got x to the 4th to the third. 4 times 3 is 12. You have y to the -5 to the third. -5 times 3 is -15. All right, so -4 raised to the third power. That's -4 times -4 times -4. So 16 times -4, that's -64. Let's bring that down a little bit. And I know this needs to all be over 1 because I have a negative exponent to deal with. But I start here. -4 to the third, -64. X has a positive exponent. But your y to the -15, you're going to go down to the bottom. It's going to change signs. So y to the +15. All right, so there's a lot going on in this one. This is a coefficient for now. I want to concentrate on the piece that has the exponent. I'm just going to bring this down. I can't do anything with it until I deal with the exponent. So here, got a -5 to the square, so -5 squared. You have x to the -3 squared, so that's x to the -6. All right, still not quite done with that piece. -5 squared is 25. All right, so my coefficients now, 2 times 25. And then I have x's, x to the 4th times x to the -6. We're going to add those exponents. And the y doesn't really have anything. When you still have a negative exponent left, that's when you deal with it. So x to the -2 goes to the bottom. Exponent becomes positive. Let's see, I would deal with the 30 and the 12 first. Both can be divided by 6. And then dividing by the same base, x to the 8th, x to the 5th, subtract your exponents. The 5 is smaller, was positive, now you subtract. You've got y to the 4th, y to the 6th. This time the 4 is the smaller one. Subtract. Then you've got your z to the 0, z to the 3rd. Well, z to the 0 is 1, so I don't really need to do anything with it other than cross it out because it's 1. So So you have 5x cubed over 2 y squared z to the third. Okay. You've got power in the numerator, so you want to deal with that before dealing with the denominator. So that is 4 to the third, w to the sixth. 4 to the third is 64. So now I'm going to deal with this 1 to 64 and a 20. And I think they could just be divided by 4. 64 divided by 4 is 16. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And then we're dividing by the same base. Subtract your exponents. 5 is smaller. So you have 16w over 5. Deal with the denominator first, because that's where your power to power is. Power to power, this is a 3 to the 1, so 1 times 4 is 4. And then 4 times 4 is 16. 3 to the 4th is 81. Negative 12 and 81 can both be divided by a 3. 3 goes into negative 12, negative 4 times, and into 81, 27 times. X to the 5th by x to the 16. Dividing by the same base, subtract your exponents. 5 is smaller. It was positive, now you're subtracting. X to the 11. And I don't know why I chose to use an M on this one. I should use an X or a Z because it's going to bother me that it's not in alphabetical order. That's fine. Deal with your negative exponent thing down there at the bottom. You have to deal with that power to power. So y cubed to the negative 2. So it's y negative 6. M to the 4th to negative 2. M to the negative 8. Had to deal with that one first before dealing with anything else. Then you've got your 12 and your 4. So 4 goes into 12 3 times, into 4 once. Y to the 5th, y to the negative 6. Dividing by the same base, subtract your exponents. Negative 6 is smaller. So you bring it up, change its sign. Then you have your M. M to the 1. M to the negative 8. Dividing by the same base, subtract your exponents. Negative 8 is smaller. Change its sign. So if you look in the bottom, you have nothing left. You cross out the 4 and got a 1. Y to the negative 6 is gone. M to the negative 8 is gone. So no more denominators. So 3, y to the 11th, m to the 9th. Technically this is all over 1, but I don't need that. Okay, so I try to get as much mix in there as possible. This will finish out the assignment with the last 3 sections.